Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, setting the record straight about climate. This presentation is about the widely held belief that the Pacific Northwest is melting down. The belief is so strong, the Oregon State climatologist was once fired for disputing it. The 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver represented an important milestone for global warming alarmists. That winter was very warm and there was a shortage of snow. Experts announced the demise of snow and the Winter Olympics, as seen in this National Geographic article. So, what happened in 2010? Well, 2010 was an El Nino year, as was 2015 and 2016. El Nino brings warm water to the eastern Pacific. The Winter Olympics was affected by the warm El Nino water. But January to April temperatures in the Pacific Northwest have generally been declining since this peak in 1992. The only years that were exceptions were the El Nino years. This year has been one of the 10 coldest on record in Washington state and the coldest since 1950. The warmest year was 1934. The Vancouver Olympics in 2010 was a very low snow year, as were the other El Nino years of 2015 and 2016. 2008, 2012, and 2017 were high snow years. There is no long-term trend in Washington state snowfall. Cold years have more snow, warm years have less snow. 1950 was both the coldest and snowiest January to April on record in Washington state. 1934 was the warmest and one of the least snowiest years. I recently testified at the Washington State Senate at the request of Senator Doug Erickson, who is also the Trump Transition Team EPA Communications Director. The topic of my presentation was the corruption of the temperature record by government agencies. My testimony came the day after the largest snowstorm Seattle had in decades. Before I even started speaking, Democratic Senator Carlisle tried to silence me, and a former Olympia City Council member jumped up in the middle of my presentation and started shouting. He had to be dragged out by security. The New York Times later wrote a fake news story about my presentation, which not only got the content wrong, but they even made up a fake topic for it. This was particularly amusing because much of my presentation consisted of historical articles from the New York Times. George Orwell said, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." The last thing which climate alarmists want to hear is facts, but I'm going to keep confronting them with those facts. This year has been one of the 10 coldest on record in Washington, and January to April temperatures have been declining there for 25 years. There is no long-term trend in Washington state snowfall. Visit Toto on the web at realclimatescience.com. He's been pulling back the curtain on junk science for a long time.